Ballots are now trickling into mailboxes statewide for the roughly 170,000 who requested to vote absentee.
Reporter Maddie Beertemple joins us now with an inside look at Measure 1. Maddie.
Nicholas and Lauren, while there's been debate over Measure 3, which is off the ballot, and Measure 2, which is on the ballot, there hasn't been much talk over Measure 1.
Measure 1 was put on the ballot by the legislature after it passed the Senate in 2019.
Resolution is passed.
If passed, it will significantly alter the makeup of the State Board of Higher Education. Among the biggest changes, it would nearly double the number of board members from 8 to 15, increase their term length from 4 to 6 years, and prohibit elected officials from serving on the board.
Board members were overworked. The task was too much. It was too overwhelming. So our solution was to increase the board members so that they would have more time and availability to work into subcommittees.
Senator Joan Heckeman introduced the measure alongside 5 other lawmakers.
They're not hired full-time. They are not employed full-time. And that makes it very difficult for some of the work to get done. Expanding the board gives them an opportunity to actually get into the campuses themselves.
But not everyone agrees with the expansion, including Erica Solberg, who holds the sole student seat on the board.
Our voice if the measure is passed is cut in half. You know, there's not a doubling of the student position. So I think that's very troubling to see that with this measure, the student voice would be cut in half.
Solberg says other students agree with her.
I'm in contact with the student body presidents at each of the 11 institutions pretty regularly, and unanimously what I keep hearing is they don't want the board to double, they don't want their voice to be diminished.
Senator Donald Scheibel says the idea got started when Governor Burgum introduced a bill to change the state's governance system of higher education.
It was started in the House, and it met with quite a bit of resistance, and that was to create a board, I believe, for NDSU, UND, and then a separate board for the rest of the colleges.
But instead of separate boards, lawmakers eventually settled on expanding the size of the single board with the hope that the increase would allow members to specialize in formed subcommittees. As for the student seat, Scheibel says there was even discussion about eliminating his or her vote entirely.
We obviously think that the student voice is very important, but when you're on a board of this magnitude and this size, you know, it takes more than a year or two to even become acclimated in doing a good job.
If passed, the measure would go into effect June of 2021.
The measure also comes with a price tag, $147,000 every 2 years. And Lauren, Nicholas, that's meant to cover the additional travel expenses involved with having more people on the board visit campuses.
Very interesting. Maddie Beertemple reporting. Thank you.
Stay with us. Still to